What's good, everybody? I am Jimmy V, one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the country. And today I'm sharing with you everything that I think you need to know about a FHA loan. So we're going to be talking about a few things here. I'm confident that the information that I'm going to share with you is going to help you to A, purchase a home. That's the goal, right? FHA loan. And B, help you to make an informed decision so that way you know what to expect and what exactly an FHA loan is. We use all of these terms in mortgage lending, and oftentimes we as mortgage loan originators don't even take the time to explain it, right? So that's what I want to discuss today. Now, I'm going to be talking about a few different things. I'll bookmark everything so that way if you need to pause it, come back, revisit it, whatever the case may be, it'll be time-stamped for you. Good to go. So first things first, FHA loan. What is an FHA loan? That is a good question. So FHA stands for Federal Housing, okay? Administration. My writing is terrible, guys, but I think you still get the point, right? So Federal Housing Administration. What exactly does FHA do? I think it's important that you know that. First things first, they insure the mortgage loans made by private lenders. So for example, right, you are going to go to a mortgage company, mortgage bank, right? And what happens is you're going to get a mortgage loan from them. They're going to approve you. Now, FHA, however, is in the background. And in the event of default, FHA will pay the mortgage lender a portion of the loan balance. So the lender has essentially insurance on the loan. You with me so far? All right, cool. So what are FHA loans most known for? Many times people think that in 2026, you need 20% down. There's an article written that talked about how like 40% of prospective buyers thought that they had to have 20% down. That's just not true, okay? And one of the neat things about FHA loans is that you can come in with as little as a 3.5% down payment. Now, why is that important? Well, because it eliminates that kind of barrier to home ownership for many people that think that they otherwise would need to come up with 20, 25, 30% down, right? So needless to say, that is a tremendous value add. Now, the other thing about the down payment requirement is that it can be a gift as well. So FHA allows for this 3.5% to come in the form of a gift. So if you have a friend, right, or excuse me, a family member, and that family member is willing to gift you funds, so mom, dad, sister, brother, relative, whatever, they can gift you those funds on an FHA loan for as little as 3.5% down. Now, there are other types of programs that will actually allow you to receive gift funds. These are referred to as down payment assistance loans that can also be used for a gift. That's a topic for another day. We don't have time in this specific video, okay? Now, what else do you need to know about FHA loans, right? How about the fact that you need to have a minimum credit score, FHA says, of 580. That's an important number for you to know. So not only do you have to come in with only 3.5% down, FHA loans are also available for prospective homebuyers that have less than perfect credit. A lot of people, I think, need to have, a 700, 720, 780, whatever, right? Credit score to qualify. With an FHA loan, you don't, all right? And that is a tremendous value add. You can get a FHA loan with a credit score as low as 580. Now, does that automatically mean that you're going to get approved for an FHA loan? Not exactly, right? You still have to qualify and get approved by the mortgage lender. Just because FHA says, yeah, we'll do it, right, doesn't mean that it's an automatic approval or that, you walk into an FHA office and they just give you a check for a house. Not exactly, all right? So keep that in mind that the mortgage lender needs to approve your loan. And by the way, guys, if you'd like to find out what your home loan readiness score is, I built a quiz that you can actually take. I'll make a link in the description. It'll tell you whether or not in 60 seconds you may be qualified or eligible to obtain an FHA loan. So 580 credit score. Now, in some circumstances, FHA says if you are below a 580, that you can go all the way down to 500. That's kind of crazy, right? 500, you can go all the way down. Once again, you got to get approved, of course, but you can go as little as or as low as a 500 credit score if you are in a position to come up with 10% down. Roger that. So keep that in mind moving forward, that once again, FHA loans are fairly laxed when it comes to credit score requirements, as well as debt to income ratio requirements. So I'm kind of running out of room here, but we'll move along. Debt to income ratio. How about the fact that I'm running out of a pen too? But that's all right. Hang in here with me. Debt to income ratio. So what does that mean exactly? Percentage of debt in relation to your income. So we as the mortgage lender are going to take all of your liabilities that report on your credit. Auto loan, student loan, monthly payments with respect to credit cards, etc. We're going to add all of those up, and then we're going to take the additional, mortgage payment. We're going to put all those together and divide it into your income after all is said and done. That is referred to as a debt to income ratio. That's an important term for you to know. Now, FHA loans do allow, in many circumstances, for borrowers to go all the way up to a 56%. Okay, now does it mean that you should go that high? No, it doesn't, okay? But it can be done, provided, of course, you have other compensating factors for credit and things of that nature. Now, there's a couple of other things that you need to know about FHA loans that I think are important. There's what I refer to as pesky PMI. It's actually referred to as MI, right? And FHA charges us as prospective home buyers to utilize this particular type of financing, okay? So FHA requires an upfront mortgage insurance premium of 1.75% of the loan balance. You with me so far? So FHA is going to charge us purchasing a home 1.75% of the loan balance that's going to be rolled into the loan. Now, why do they do that? Well, because they gotta have enough money in their savings account, so to speak, that in the event that we have another 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, that they've got enough money that they don't bankrupt the entire FHA system. Does that make sense? So that's what you need to be prepared for. Now, this 1.75% premium is rolled into the loan. The buyer rather, can pay it out of pocket should they choose to do so. But in most cases, FHA borrower is going to roll that into the loan. Following along? So in addition to that, okay, FHA also charges monthly mortgage insurance. Monthly MI is what they call it, okay? Now, monthly MI is 0.55%, okay? 0.55%, or in my industry, we say 55 basis points, just a fancy way of saying 0.55%. Don't let people fool you on that, okay? So 55 basis points. Now, I'll give you an example here, okay? If you were purchasing a home for $386,000, the FHA upfront mortgage insurance premium would come in at or around $6,700. Can you guys read that okay? The writing here is kind of falling apart, but whatever, we move on. So FHA mortgage insurance premium around $6,700. Now, we also have to take into consideration the monthly MI. 55 basis points on this particular instance would come in at or around $177 a month. Now, you might say, well, Jimmy, why in the hell would I want to do that? Well, maybe you aren't in a position to qualify for a conventional loan. And if you are, we can certainly explore that, but not everybody that is qualified for a FHA loan can get a conventional loan. And oftentimes what this allows prospective buyers to do is use an FHA loan as like a bridge to home ownership. They get into the home, they live in the home, right? They establish equity over a period of time. And once that's completed, right? Once you've established maybe 20% equity in the home, then you can refinance into a conventional loan and remove that private mortgage insurance. You following me along on that? By the way, guys, if you feel like I've earned it so far, would you consider showing your love, clicking like on the video so that way we can promote this information to more prospective home buyers that want to purchase a home in 2026 and years to come. And lastly, consider subscribing to the channel. Helps us once again to provide more valuable content like this into the prospective home buyer marketplace. Okay, so that's a little bit about FHA loans. Now, what type of documentation does one need to provide on an FHA loan? Well, that's really going to depend on several different factors from your specific scenario. But generally speaking, you could expect to have to bring things like 2 years of W-2s, tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, all pages of the bank statements, I should say, even if the page is blank. So there's this page that says it's intentionally left blank. It's like, yeah, we need that too. But yeah, generally speaking, those are some of the items that you're going to need. Now, remember, it can vary depending upon who you are, right? And what your specific scenario is. In addition to that, FHA also allows you to custom fit the mortgage to your individual needs. Jimmy, how do you mean exactly? Well, you can get a 30-year FHA loan, 25-year, 20-year, even a 15-year FHA loan, should you choose to do so. One of the other things that people appreciate about FHA loans is the fact that you can get a mortgage loan in as little as 2 years after a bankruptcy, 3 years on a foreclosure. Keeping in mind, one more time, you gotta qualify still, right? Mortgage lender is still gonna make sure that you are a borrower who has it's called ATR, ability to repay. Good to go? So that's a little bit about FHA loans, why I think that they're valuable. One more time, because it gets buyers into a home, right, that otherwise maybe wouldn't have qualified on a conventional loan, into homes, start building wealth, right, and utilizing that mortgage interest tax deductibility that also comes with the home. Now, there's also one other thing that I want you to know before we get going here. The fact that FHA has maximum loan amounts depending upon the specific county that you reside in. So that number can vary depending upon where you are in the nation. If you'd like me to give you that specific number, drop a comment down below and I will make sure that you know what specific county the FHA loan limits are for where you're at. Good to go? So my name is Jimmy Versalino, one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the country. I serve clients all across this great nation with all of their home buying and mortgage related needs.